Hey guys, happy Halloween. Oh my gosh, today is one big fat disappointment, and I am just so sorry. We've been having some serious technical problems with getting our Halloween episode up. It was supposed to come out today, and it's the first video episode that we've recorded, and of course, it couldn't go without its problems. So we're still working on getting that sorted. I've reached out to the program support, so hopefully they can lend a hand and assist us with getting that all set. In the meantime, I don't want to leave you guys hanging, so what we're going to do is our little trick within a treat for Halloween, or treat within a trick, I suppose. We are going to actually unleash one of our Patreon episodes for you guys to hear on the main. So our Patreon just dropped today. We already have 5 episodes up there ready for you guys to binge, and every Friday we'll be releasing new ones. So it is super exciting. There is a relevant Discord chat where you can see all of the evidence files. There's a Carnage Club access as well for the really gory stuff. That's top tier members 18 and over only, please, because it is graphic. For today, we're going to actually bring over a Dayvid episode, so it was a lot of fun. This is an episode that we had our friend Tommy Cullum from Let's Get Freaky podcast on for, and Dayvid takes the reins to tell us a really twisted, demented story of one of America's most prolific serial killers. So we're going to tune in and listen to him talk about that. And in the meantime, please stay tuned to our social media. As soon as I have a episode that's worthy for you guys to hear, I will post it, and it'll be just a little extra bonus content at this point. But please accept my most sincere apologies. I was not anticipating this, so I feel so bad and so guilty. I've been pushing this for a month, and we're not on time with it, so I do apologize, but rest assured I'm going to get it out for you guys. Thank you for sticking with us. Please go check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/onenothingpodcast. We have 3 tiers on there for whatever you need. I could sit here all day and tell you all the tea and the bonus stuff, but it's best for you just go check it out. So thank you so much for sticking with us. Here is our episode, which is Patreon episode number 5, a Dayvid story featuring Tommy Cullum of Let's Get Freaky. Let's get into it. Hello, winners. How is it hanging today? We have one phenomenal episode for you in store. I'm really excited. Even I don't know what to expect today, which is a first, so I'm feeling all kinds of emotions. Dayvid, how are we doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm excited, nervous, all the feels, but I'm ready. And I'm going to go ahead and let you bring on our guest for today because we have an extra special guest.
Yes, we do. We have Tommy Cullum from Let's Get Freaky.
Hi.
Hey, guys.
How are you doing?
Very excited to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me on.
Well, we're excited to have you. Me and Dayvid have been gushing like school children for
That's
days
honor.
in our group.
You guys have both been on my show and it was awesome. So I'm glad to be on your show. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for returning the favor. Before we get too much into our games, I just want you to tell us a little bit, because you have a podcast, as you mentioned, called Let's Get Freaky. So tell us about how Let's Get Freaky came to be. How is it the enigma it is today?
Yeah, well, I've always, since I can remember, been fascinated with the paranormal. Since I was a kid, I've had experiences, and it's just always been something that's fascinated me. And obviously I started listening to other podcasts, and I thought, I want to talk about this every day because I love it. I love talking to people and finding out their experiences and their thoughts on the paranormal. And I thought a perfect way to do that is doing a podcast. It gives me an excuse to talk about it every day. So that's what we're doing.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I love that. So I wanted to ask, because I know you've had a myriad of really amazing, cool guests on your show. Does any one episode particular stand out as like extra creepy, like had your spine tingling because it was so weird?
Oh, wow. There's been a few. I done one recently with the Olney brothers, and they've had some really freaky experiences. And I'm talking to people every night about paranormal stuff, and you sort of become not used to it, but I don't know. There's something it just becomes normal. But after this particular episode, I remember shutting the computer off after, and I was actually a little bit scared. I was like, oh man, like I didn't want to turn the lights off. I was still in that mode. So yeah, sometimes it gets me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm scared.
You talk about some really terrifying stuff, so I think I'd probably have hit that point a dozen times over by now, but I'm going to have to definitely go check that episode out now because you've got me piqued my interest.
Everyone. I mean, they was talking about a toy clown that came to life, and it got freaky. It got
No.
freaky.
You got what you asked for, right?
That's it. That's it. Yeah, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, it sounds a little terrifying. I don't know about the clown stuff, but
Yeah, I don't like clowns anyway. So the thought of a clown, toy clown coming to life, that is pretty terrifying.
yeah, can't say I'm a fan of that myself. So we're gonna play a little game with you, and we like to call it red flag, green flag. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but essentially I just want you to pick one thing that would be like a positive attribute that a stranger would hear about you and say, oh, like that's a good characteristic to have. And then give us a red flag, something that someone would maybe be like, ooh, that's a little diamond needs some sharpening kind of situation.
God, it's probably a lot. So a good thing?
Yeah, a green flag, yeah.
I would say, hopefully, people would say that I'm quite positive. I try and be positive as much as I can.
Absolutely.
I feel like the energy you put out is the energy you get back. Obviously, people can't be positive every day all the time. It just doesn't work like that. But as much as you can, I try and look for the positives. Like if I'm having a bad day, I think, okay, this is bad, but these are the positives, and I try and lean on them a little bit more. And I hope people would recognize that.
For sure.
What an
That's for
amazing
sure.
attribute.
Oh, thank you. And then the bad ones go, where do I start?
You don't have to tell us about any bodies in the backyard or anything.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible at cooking. Yeah, well, I can't say that, but I'm terrible at cooking. I'm the worst cook you'll ever meet. My wife will tell you I'm a terrible cook, cleaner, housework. I'm terrible with that stuff. I always leave that to the last minute, and yeah, that's probably my negatives is the housework and cooking, I would say. But there's probably a lot more.
You're one of those people that's just hurling things into an ambiguous closet when guests arrive. Like throwing pots and sure. Magazines.
Yeah, in the garden. Yeah, get it out there. Yeah. Everyone's got that room. Well, we do. We've got that room that everything just goes in when guests are coming, and we try and keep the guests out of that room.
It's like the evolved Pokemon of the junk drawer.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Those are good green flags and red flags, I think. Yeah. Those are pretty good. Puts David's to shame. He never even gave us any, I don't think. He's perfect.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know about that. I don't remember those.
I've got a lot more red flags for sure.
No, everybody's got some, but they're only red if you have normal glasses. And if you're wearing red glasses, they just look like flags.
Yes.
That's how I rationalize that anyway.
What are yours, Amanda?
I've been through our red flags and green flags. Oh yeah, I'm a big person of getting involved in situations that I shouldn't. I insert myself into problems I have no business being in. That'll forever be probably my biggest red flag. And then green flag is just, I don't know, I love animals, so that's probably my
that's a
biggest. Good one. Yeah, but like to a toxic degree, like if I like walked up and saw a child like throwing rocks at a seagull, I'm not gonna finish that thought, but. Don't let your children throw rocks at seagulls in my presence.
Right.
It's all I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna get canceled. Oh goodness. Well, that was a good time. So we are gonna let David tell his story first, then we'll play a couple little games at the end. So David, I think I gave away our little hint before we even got into it, but the secret of today's episode is it's a David episode. So he has prepared a story for us today. He's going to tell it. He's going to take us down into the time machine into God knows where. I don't have no idea what we're about to talk about today. So with further ado or without, how much ado you want, David, take it away.
Thank you. So today, like she said, it's going to be a bit different. I'm going to start off with a murder. I'm going to talk about this murder, and then I'm going to go back in time, and we're going to discuss the birth of that person. Okay.
Ooh.
All right, here we go. So, July 1985, that's where we find ourselves. And it's a single mother named Ina Court. is taking her young 4-year-old son, Willie, to a carnival in Forsyth County, Missouri. There she meets a carnival worker that she likes so much, she invited him to her house for a home-cooked meal. He obliges, and away they go to her home. And while at her home, this man claims that Nina tried to look through his bag and take his drugs. So she takes a baseball bat that belonged to young Willie and violently beats Ina to death.
Oh,
It's a little overdramatic.
Way overdramatic.
that's a bad first date.
Oh, I'm telling you. I mean, after this,
We don't
he
like them all to
realized-
end like that.
What's that?
So we don't like them all to end like that. We like when somebody
No,
wants
that's
to
the worst
survive a
way.
date.
To die by your son's baseball bat has to be
Pretty
an all-time horrible first date. Realizing that the 4-year-old Willie was an eyewitness to the crime, the perpetrator then used Willie's own baseball bat to end his life, just as brutally as he ended Ina's. That is one of the murders from this gentleman, which we'll talk about now, which such a sick, demented monster. How
It's
could
so
he do this to
disturbing.
another human being, one that was incredibly kind to offer him a warm meal at her home? Just so...
When you first said it, I thought you meant the girl killed the man.
That's what I thought at first too.
That's why I was not joking, but oh,
It was
no.
a little more funny, yeah. But she did it. But
Yeah.
how old
So
was
this guy,
Willie?
was 4 years old.
Oh,
And
man.
this all started off as just going to a carnival, and they met a carnival worker there who I think he was operating the Ferris wheel. And she liked him, thought he was really nice, and this is what happened. So
Jeez.
let's go ahead and go back to the beginning. We're going to go to the birth of an adorable set of twins that happened on June 28th, 1964 in Oakland, California. Tammy Jean and Tommy Lynn were, by all accounts, a lovely set of twins that appeared bubbly. The twins had 2 older brothers, and their mother, Nina, would have 3 more boys as the years went on. At the time of the twins' birth, Nina was a single mother, and turns out that the father of the twins was a William Sells, an insurance agent. However, this turns out to be false. A used car salesman named Joe Lovins had bailed William Sells out of a troubling financial issue, and Lovins convinced William Sells to claim the twins as his own in an insurance scam. So Sells' job basically provided health insurance to benefit to the children. So that's where this all comes about. Tragedy would befall the twins when at 18 months, both were stricken with meningitis after moving with their mother, Nina Sells, to St. Louis. Tammy Jean would not survive. However, Tommy Lynn, who had the same exact symptoms, would recover.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Tommy survives, and poor Tammy didn't. And
Good
then
job,
we move
Tommy.
on.
Yeah.
I just realized Tommy.
I knew you could do it.
Great name.
Oh
I knew you
man!
could survive that.
Between the ages of 2 to 5, Nina Sells sent her son to live with her aunt, Bonnie Walpole. During this time, Walpole said that Nina never visited her son, so she inquired about adopting young Tommy. And while this was taking place, Nina was so enraged that she took back possession of Tommy and refused to allow him to ever visit his aunt again. Kind of troubling, I guess. And then he turns 7, and that's when he starts drinking alcohol, thanks to his grandfather, who introduced him to him.
Oh,
7.
7 and
Yeah,
he's hitting the
7 years old.
bottle.
Can
What
you
kind
imagine?
of woes do you have as a 7-year-old?
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I guess like family turbulence and stuff, but like, and how do you get like? There's people passing out bottles to kids these days. Like, yeah,
Grandpa was.
That's bad.
Apparently, Grandpa was.
maybe
So
Grandpa should get run
wow.
over by a reindeer.
He did.
I do remember finding one of my dad's half-drunk can of beers in the fridge, and I was probably about a similar sort of age, and I downed this beer, and I remember being quite drunk. Obviously,
You lightweight. I'm just
so
joking.
some of us, yeah, some of us start early, you know.
And you liked it, Tommy? It tastes good to you?
No, I remember drinking it, but I knew my dad always drank it, so I was like, "Oh, this must be good." And I've just started drinking it, and I was like, "Oh, that's vile."
Yeah.
You
But
drank the rest of it as
I carried. I like it now. Don't get me wrong.
research. I wonder if it'll get better the more I drink of this.
Yeah, I think that's it. It does.
And it did.
It did. Yeah.
So
What
we
did you
get
do as
into
a drunk child?
That was a one-off. That was a one-off thing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Did your
I swear.
parents, did they find out?
I don't know. I think they did. Yeah, and I think I probably got a bit of a telling off. And then
Oh,
I
you
didn't.
didn't
I
get-
didn't do anything like that again until my teen years. When
Apparently, our story,
you know.
Tommy, has a much different upbringing because it's like they brought the bottle right to his lips.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He was basically giving it. And then at age 8, Tommy was allowed to spend time with a man from a nearby town who befriended him. He would take Tommy on day trips. He would give him gifts and money. Tommy eventually would have sleepovers with this man frequently.
Oh, no.
Of course, this man was later discovered to be a pedophile who molested boys, including Tommy, for years before being captured.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's some tough stuff right there. By
I
age
think that's
10,
why Tommy would want to drink.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Now he has a reason. That's just, I can't imagine. By age 10, Tommy was experimenting with drugs. He was smoking weed. And age 13, he would crawl into bed with his grandmother naked. Which, I don't know, that's kind of fucking weird. During that time, around 13,
What website are you collecting these details off?
during that time, he attempted to rape his own mother, for which he had to undergo mental examinations. So by 14, Tommy was on his own, stealing to survive, hopping on trains, and attempting to pass as an adult.
That's terrifying.
That's crazy.
Just
Yeah.
release that person into society. There you go.
And I tried to find, because I was like, yeah, he attempted to rape his mom. That's very bizarre. And I don't know if, she didn't want him back in the house, or he just decided he was out. I'm not sure what happened, but after all those examinations, he just jetted.
I would certainly hope she'd be like, your time here is done. Like, I need to go.
Right? But at the same time, he's only 13 or 14.
Yeah, but he's old enough to know how to operate his friend and try to use it maliciously against people. I'd be like,
Well, he would travel the country using trains. He would steal cars. And by the late 70s, early 80s, he would begin to commit. He had murdered dozens of people. And by the late 80s, because of heavy drinking and heavy drug use, specifically heroin, but he would take anything. By the end, he supposedly claimed 70 victims.
oh shit.
70.
70, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, this guy he was not all there. So, there's so many victims. And because he would travel the country, they called him the coast to coast killer.
Ooh.
And it's just, to me, it's so insane that he was only convicted of one victim out of the 70. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But let's talk about that one victim and the one survivor who basically brought him down.
Ooh, snap. Someone survived that?
Someone survived, and it is a gruesome survival. Let me tell you. 1999, Terry and Crystal Harris, they lived with their son and 2 daughters in a trailer home west of San Antonio, Texas. They attended Grace Community Church, where they met Tommy and his wife. And at this time, Tommy was a used car salesman. Sells would visit the Harris home, often looking for Terry's guidance with his marital issues. So at some point, Terry Harris had to travel to Kansas to assist Mr. Searles, a family friend. So, there were some troubles. I think they were, they're in Kansas, so they basically needed to come back to Texas. So Terry Harris, the friend, went out there, and he left his wife, their children, and the Searles children there in San Antonio.
Oh, gosh.
So Tommy Lynn Sells knew this, apparently. And one night, he was at a bar. He stayed till closing. And then he made his way to the Harris home, where he entered through an open window. He went to a bedroom where he saw Katie Harris, 13 years old, sleeping in the bottom bunk. And 10-year-old Crystal Searles was sleeping on the top bunk. Sells put his hand over Katie's mouth and pulled out a 12-inch Bowie knife he had brought with him.
Oh, man.
And he sliced Katie's shorts and underwear and began fondling her.
My God.
She was obviously startled, and she struggled and actually escaped his grasp, got up, stood straight up and was screaming. And then Tommy Sells basically jumped, turned the light on, and blocked her exit from getting out of the room. At this point, Katie saw blood and screamed, "You cut me." So Sells moved behind her, closing her mouth with his hands, and sliced her throat twice. Katie dropped to the floor, gurgling, and then Sells stabbed her 16 times.
Holy shit.
So Crystal Searles told Tommy that, "I'll be quiet. I promise I won't say anything." Now, this is the 10-year-old girl that's on the top bunk. And, of course, this didn't satisfy Sells at all. He moved towards her. He reached over and he sliced her throat. Crystal then fell to the ground and didn't make a sound. Sells proceeded to walk out the front door, and basically, he figured he had killed both those girls. But he didn't. To her credit, Crystal pretended to be dead. This 10-year-old girl had to endure a brutal murder happen right in front of her friend, and then act to ensure this man would stab her by pretending to be dead. Her quick thinking saved her life, and she stopped the monster in the process. Sells was captured and identified by Crystal Searles.
Oh my God.
And then he was convicted and given the death penalty.
Take the trash out.
So Sells was executed by the state of Texas using lethal injection on April 3rd, 2014 in Huntsville. And
that wasn't all that long ago, dang.
It wasn't. And I'm going to give you a quote from him. This is coming from Tommy Lynn Sells, sorry. He says, "I am hatred. When you look at me, you look at hate. I don't know what love is. Two words I don't like to use is love and sorry, because I'm about hate." And those are the words of a person devoid of compassion and understanding. He only wanted to kill. And
Psycho.
He basically wanted to do that. He felt that it was like killing was like getting a high from drugs, and he was like an addict.
It's crazy, man.
And that's the story of Tommy Lynn Sells, the coast-to-coast killer.
I had never heard of him before.
You know what? Me neither. But my girlfriend told me about it, and I looked into it. Apparently, she grew up in Del Rio, Texas, and there was a couple of murders by this guy out there.
So why did he not get convicted for all but one? Just because no evidence, or?
Yeah, basically, there was a whole lot of evidence that he committed like a lot of these murders. But since Texas is very heavy into, lethal injection, and they always execute these kind of killers, they figured that would be the end. He would be executed for all his crimes. They'll just do it. So he was going to go to different states. They were going to go through the whole thing, but they just, for whatever reason, decided he's just going to do this and he's going to die here. They let it alone, which, it really upset a lot of families.
Oh, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Did you say he was married too?
Yes, he was married. And as a matter of fact,
wow.
When he was working at the carnival, he met a girl named Jessica. They actually fell in love. Now, they were planning on getting married. Problem was, they did get married, but it didn't hold because he was actually married to another woman, and that one was living in he was in California.
Oh shit! So he tried to marry this bitch, and then they were like, "Surprise, he's already married."
Yep, can't do it because he's already married. Yeah.
Jeez.
Bridezilla.
Imagine being married to someone like that. That would just be crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's so nuts.
Imagine that's how you find out about your man's other life. Like you literally at the altar, and they're like, "Yeah, this check didn't cash. She's already married."
Not only that, his first wife was pregnant while they were getting married. While he was marrying another woman. Yeah.
Was that how it was with Ted Bundy as well? Like his wife or girlfriend didn't know that he was
Yes.
doing these things.
Yeah. And you know what? She's lucky he didn't kill her.
Yeah.
But he was with this girl and he was committing all these murders. For whatever reason,
Like,
he
how
never
are
did.
there no signs or indication though? Like, not a single time that they like make an inappropriate comment or slip up and like, I don't know. It's just so weird to me. Like, how do you not have any idea that they're like that?
Yeah. They would literally have to be acting 24/7.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, surely there would be signs. It's
Be like,
crazy.
hey, why do you wake up in the morning and lick a steak knife every morning? Like, I don't know, just like there should be
Yeah.
little things that like that you notice in a relationship.
Why are you drinking that blood again?
Yeah. Are you torturing puppies in the basement again?
But you know what? His I was like going through his life like almost year by year, and you know, it is nuts. Like he was abandoned by his mom for 5 years. That was weird. I think he would have been better off with his aunt. But then
I
he
mean,
picked,
that's really sad and stuff, but it's like break the cycle. Like, I don't understand why these people just become worse than the product they grew up in.
Yeah.
well, I think it's a mixture of you know, the environment and then you know, what experiences you have throughout your life. So it's like I think it's like a two-parter, right? So a lot of people have terrible starts, but they don't become murderers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So what is that other half? You know, you need that first half for sure. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes it's the mother is overbearing or you know, she's an abuser or it's the father, or, you know, something that's really, really bad growing up. And then they start to do things like killing animals, like, you know, it shows that they don't
Yep.
have much of a heart. They're killing little animals. Something
Yeah.
happens later on that it snaps in their head that they can kill people.
How do they
And they,
trick people into thinking that they love them and stuff? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, this guy, Tommy Lund, he, you know, he's 8 years old when this guy is molesting him. And then his mom allows it. That's what freaks me out the most is she's like, yeah, go sleep over with this guy.
oh
Oh,
gosh.
I mean, he's obviously had a horrible childhood, like horrible. But I mean, there still must be something. There's a switch missing for you to go that route and be that person. I mean, I know it must have been so difficult for him growing up in those circumstances, but you know, as you said, not everyone turns into a psycho serial killer
right.
that's had a bad upbringing.
It's definitely that. I just thought I want to know what is the switch. There's like a moment where they switch over into this whole
Yeah.
other, like, I don't know, they become a whole other entity type thing.
Do you think with someone like that, they can, if they're brought up normally, they're not going to go down that route?
No, because I think even there's some people that have been brought up like have a great family background, you know, have a great upbringing, and they
Yeah.
kill. Now they may not be
I was just gonna say that.
yeah. Like for example, there's that yuppie killer. That guy, or he was a serial killer, but he did murder someone.
Well, just
Oh,
like Chris Watts, like people that are in
yeah.
loving, committed families with no real gain, and then it just like something goes off one day.
I still don't understand
Yeah.
that one. I recently uploaded a video of the house that's supposedly haunted now. You can
Yeah, I
hear
saw that. That was pretty freaky.
it
Yeah.
giggling. You can hear uh the wife talking. Well, why are you in my house? That kind of stuff. And
Oh man.
I can't understand why that guy did that for another woman. That doesn't make
Just
any sense.
selfish. He just wanted a different life, and I don't know. It's just like as much as it's gonna suck, just divorce her. Yeah, you're gonna lose a bunch of your money, but you know, like you're gonna lose your freedom if you murder her,
Right.
Yeah.
He really thought he was going to get away with it, I guess.
which is just stupid. It's like nobody gets away with murder these days.
Oh. And she was pregnant.
Oh man.
Yeah, that one's a
Yeah.
fucked up one. Faux show.
That bothered me.
Jeez.
Do you know much about that case, Tommy?
No, I'm not sure
Uh,
about that. No.
So the I don't want to say the coolest because that's a bad choice of words, but like I'm
Right.
not gonna tell the whole thing because it's drawn out. But essentially, this like charming husband, idyllic, picturesque life, murdered his wife, her two kids, and she was pregnant with their third kid.
And then
Oh,
he
man.
shoved their bodies in an oil drum at like this project that he was working on out in the middle of nowhere. So
I think
then
I have seen that.
yeah, the cops show up at his house to investigate because like the girl's friend was like a badass best friend and was like, no, something's up. She's not home. Like, and she called the cops. And the cops come out and they're watching security footage on their neighbor's TV. And right at that moment, as they're all standing there watching, a picture of a fetus in a womb pops up on the TV, and then it turns into a skull, and then it turns into oil. Tell me that ain't beyond the motherfucking grave.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
that was the craziest part of that whole case was that
Was that on Netflix?
yeah, there was a
that
Netflix documentary about it called
Wait,
like
I
The
did
All
not see
American
that.
Family or something. Yeah, it's really good. They got a lot of detail that you don't because I've looked heavily into that case and they got a lot of detail on that documentary that I never saw anywhere else.
So I saw the
Wow.
video where he's with the neighbor and the cop is there. They're in the neighbor's house. The TV is playing and they're looking at the footage. I never saw the fetus. I never saw the skull or the oil.
Yeah, if you watch it again, that clip,
Really?
and you can see he sees it, and like you can see his whole body posture change. Chris Watts,
I
like you
did
can
see
see his
him.
whole like
He
Wow.
reacted
he
to
grabs
it. I
his
saw
mouth.
that.
Yeah, but
Is
yeah.
that in the documentary?
It is. Yeah, it's body camera footage from the cop. But it just so happened, I don't know what it was. It was like a TV show that just happened to be on the TV as the neighbor was getting ready to load the security footage, like on his smart TV.
Wow.
And it just so happened, it was real quick, but it was a fetus, a skull, and a thing of oil, like in rapid succession, one after the other. And Chris saw it. And like you can see, he brings his arms up and he covers his hand, like his mouth with his hand. Like he reacted to that. And I
Yeah.
still think to this day, that was fucking Shanann being like, bitch, he killed me. This is
Yeah.
how. And like,
Yeah.
it's just,
yeah.
it's crazy that it happened like that, the way it did. The timing of that
Yeah.
gives me.
I remember watching that documentary and just being just so sad, man. That how
Yeah.
can a man do that to any kid?
It's
I
tragic.
just-
And then to
I-
make your kids ride in the car with their dead mother, like and
Oh,
to kill them
man.
and after is just messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I remember
crazy,
seeing
man.
the footage at the end where they're all in the house, the neighbor's house, and then he leaves. He goes out, and then the neighbor is
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
the neighbor's like, yeah, he's acting weird.
yeah, this guy, he's got to be the one who did it. It's got to be him, kind of thing. He's telling the cop, and the cop's like, look into it. Like, wow, I did not.
Yeah.
That is so freaky.
Yeah, definitely look that up. That little body cam. If you just Google like skull and oil body cam Chris Watts, it'll probably pop right up because it's like a well-known fact about that case. But to this day, that stands as the most terrifying fact that happened to pop up right at that moment that they're all investigating their disappearance. And that was like hours after they died. So it's just really weird coincidence, a little too close to home.
Yeah. I don't believe in coincidences anymore.
Yeah, honestly.
That is, yeah, that's crazy.
It's wild. All right. Is that wrap up your story, David?
Yes, it does.
That was phenomenal. Just want to
Thank
say
you.
great job. That was so good. I enjoyed that
Thank
so
you.
much. We have a couple games that we're going to knock out. So this first one is a little ridiculous. So normally we have Murder, Mayhem, and Mad Libs, which is where we take a true crime story and we turn it into just whatever it becomes with Mad Libs. But for this one, I actually took a listener recommended this. I took a nursery rhyme, a common nursery rhyme, and we're going to turn it into a true crime story by subbing out some of the words. So let's see what we end up with. I'm going to start with Tommy and then we'll just go back and forth. So Tommy, I need from you some kind of offensive insult, like idiot, crazy person, dumbass, some insultive insult.
Just get them all away.
Okay.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
There's like 100.
An insult. You son of a bitch.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Is that okay?
That's a good
That's
one.
perfect.
David, I need like a negative attribute that like if you were trying to diss another guy, something that you would point out about him as being like, ooh.
Liar.
We're going to go lying just so it makes sense. All right, Tommy, I'm going to need the same from you, a different negative attribute.
Evil. Is that okay?
That's a good one. All right,
I was
David,
gonna
I
say
need
that
a weapon.
weapon. A boning knife.
Terrifying. All right. And then Tommy, some kind of item that you would use for protection.
A shield.
Shield. Right. David, I need a intense emotion.
Let's see. Absolute sadness. Did you hear it in my voice when I said?
That was a little
That was-
tender.
That was good, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Tommy, I need a sense.
Sense. Confused.
David, I need a vocalization.
Vocalization.
Yeah, like a shout or a whisper, like a grunt. A
about-
vocalization.
Monotone. Talking.
Talking monotone. This is the most like lame, prolific murder story. Right, Tommy. An action verb?
An action verb. Running. Thanks, David.
David, I need an action verb from you too. So you screwed yourself over there by giving away your answer.
Oh,
Falling.
Fall? Can you use a different one? That one doesn't really work.
Okay.
Like a present tense action verb.
Flying.
I'm just going to say fly, just for the sake of it fits. Okay.
Yeah.
So the nursery rhyme that I chose was the I'm a little teapot. So just have to keep in mind this is
great
what
rhyme.
we have with this now. So this is our supposed to be a letter of admission from a suspect. Okay. So, I'm a little son of a bitch, lying and evil. Here is my boning knife. Here is my shield. When I get absolutely sad and confused, hear me talking monotone, run me over, and then fly me out.
Yeah.
Does not make much sense, but it was funny.
That's better than the original.
That is
Yeah.
better than the original, I know.
The original is the boning knife and the shield.
There you go, guys. Sing it to your kids late at night.
Yeah.
Is that a boning knife? All right. That was a good time. Now, our last game here before we wrap up. This is, I feel like David hates all the games, but he especially hates this one. This one is called Alphaholics.
Oh,
So for Alphaholics, we are going to, I'm going to pick a random topic out of this like cup of suggested topics, and we're going to have to build a conversation out of it. Each of us is going to have to make our sentence start with the first letter of like of our word in alphabetical order. So,
Oh,
you
man.
know,
you're gonna love this one.
an apple a day, and then the next person would have to say, but wait, there's more. And the third person would have to say, cats are pretty, stuff like that. But about with the gear around a topic. Okay. Let me get actually a bag of.
Hear the bag, guys? I can hear the bag. Yeah.
Take up our like 9 suggestions that we have in there. Give us more suggestions, guys.
Yes.
Okay. Mowing the lawn. Okay, so we're gonna have to make a conversation A to Z about mowing the lawn, and David's probably gonna lose. But if you go more than like 10 seconds without being able to think of a sentence, we just call it a loss.
Damn it.
I've
Don't
lost
call me
this.
David.
It always is. I always.
I don't know. I might give you a run for the money, sir.
So a alphabetized conversation about mowing the lawn. Tommy, I'm going to have you start. So the first letter of your sentence needs to start with an A, and then David will do B, and then we'll go order it like that.
Okay, so can I start? A beautiful day to mow the lawn.
Very nice.
But why?
Can't you see it's beautiful out? You just said so.
Damn.
East with the lines.
Fuck off, David. Nobody cares about lines.
Oh my gosh.
You're cheating.
I've lost. I'm out. Oh man.
Come on, quick! You have a few more seconds.
Hey, even the grass.
You're cheating.
Ish. Oh, that's hard,
Let's
man.
give him grass.
Ah,
Grass. There you go. All right,
Eating
grass.
grass.
Holy hell.
I'm gonna need you to stop yelling about this grass.
I don't even know what letter I'm on.
Jay.
Jay. Junk everywhere in the yard.
Knife will do it.
Let me ask why you're using a knife to remove junk in the yard.
Oh.
You're an M.
Move. This is really hard.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I think I've lost this, haven't I?
5 seconds. Or
Mowing.
there you go.
Mowing the grass.
Never again.
Obviously, holding a conversation with Tommy is like talking to a brick wall.
What's my letter now?
P.
A, B, C. P. Is it P?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so bad. I'm so sorry.
No, it's funny.
Pushing the grass.
Quiet, please. I'm
pushing.
attempting to mow. Huh?
He said he's pushing grass.
I've completely lost the story. I just don't know.
He's over here dealing weed while the rest of us are worried about lawn care. Oh. I don't even know where we were.
Your R.
Ooh. Oh, it's my turn. What was Q?
Quiet, please. I'm mowing grass.
Ridiculous that you're mowing grass this late at night.
She's so good at this, man.
Stop shouting. I love mowing the grass late at night.
Topic. Grass growing slowly.
Utter imbeciles that I'm working with here, guys.
Oh, what's the next letter? It would help if I knew the alphabet, wouldn't it?
Are you on
V?
V? I think it's V.
V. Very concerned with how quick this grass is growing.
Are we mowing it?
Mowing. Yeah.
You stop with the mowing already?
Zyrtec? Anybody have a Zyrtec?
What's next?
Why?
Why do I keep mowing this grass every week?
Zebras? Is that zebras I see?
Shit, I hope so. We don't have to mow our grass and got zebras. Oh my god, that was ridiculous.
That's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Good job. You made
was
it
great.
through. Made it.
Oh my god.
Oh.
That was fun. That was fun.
Oh god.
I think I definitely lost that.
Oh no, I call that a win. David loses them all whether or not he wants to. Just that's the name of the game.
Yep.
Oh, that was a good time. I have tears in my eyes. Oh, shoot, it's so funny. I think your fragmented sentences, all of us are like, yes, that is how it goes. Oh yes, educated sentences. I was like, Mimo grass.
I completely lost the storyline.
That is such a funny, stupid, dumb game. Oh god, it gets me rolling.
That's hard, man.
It is
That's
tough.
pressure.
I know. It's tough.
That is pressure.
It's a fun time though.
I think it's becoming my favorite game, I think.
What?
I think that's becoming my favorite game.
Yeah, it's funny.
It is
gets me laughing
good.
every time. Oh man. It's the dad joke. All right, Tommy, you brought a dad joke with us today, didn't you?
Yes. I've got a dad joke.
Hear it.
Let's go. Are you
Let's
ready
hear
for
it.
this? I used to do a bit
As
of
ready as
stand-up
I
comedy
can
as
be.
well. So I
Really?
should be good at jokes. Well, should be. Okay,
Right.
you ready for this?
Hear it.
So I
Yes.
went to the pet shop and I bought myself 2 goldfish and I named them 1 and 2. So that if one dies, I've still got 2.
Ah.
Was it?
That's
I was like,
clever. I didn't know where you were
yeah.
going with that for a second.
That's one of my best ones.
That's a clever one. That's a
The
good.
kids love it.
R.I.P. to the goldfish,
Oh,
but I
man,
dig
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tommy. I really do appreciate you coming on with us today. And I would like, if you could, to share with us your socials and where to find your podcast, where to find you, where to stalk you, your social security
Yeah.
number, your
One
401k.
time.
My bank details.
Ideally, yeah. I mean,
No. Well, thank you so much, guys, for having me. It's been an absolute honour. Thank you so much. You can find me at Let's Get Freaky, Tommy Cullum's Let's Get Freaky podcast. We're on all the main podcast platforms. Recently started putting some episodes on YouTube, so you can head over there as well. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X. We're everywhere. Yeah, come and say hi.
easy to stalk. He's everywhere.
Very easy to stalk. Yeah.
David, do you have any parting words?
I just want to say thank you, Tommy. Man, this is a big deal for me. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, man.
Started out with you, man, and it's been great. And man, I can't wait to see where we go from here.
Yes. I'd love to get you guys on Let's Get Freaky again.
Gonna happen.
Absolutely. We can bring a game to your show if you like. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
we got to do. I've got up my alphabet knowledge. Just, I didn't realize how bad it was, to be honest.
3 in the morning and you're leaping through the X in the dictionary. Where can I use this?
Oh, thank you so much, guys. It's been a blast, and I really appreciate you.
Well,
Thank you for
thank
having me on.
you. I appreciate you so much. And David, excellent job today with bringing the heat. That was an amazing story. It was so cool to sit back and to hear some really cool stuff about a murder that I never knew existed and his victims and the tragic ways in which they lost their lives. So thank you for bringing that to light for us today. Really want you guys to reach out if you enjoyed today's episode. We want to know. David wants to know how he did. Leave good things. And maybe there'll be more David episodes in the future if you guys play your cards right and send all of your schnookums to him. Your schnookums, you know.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's my
Whoa.
dog in the background playing with toys. Sorry. All right. Well, thank you again so much, guys. Tommy, it was a joy. Thank you so much for coming on. I can't wait to be back on your show. Everybody go check out his podcast. Like I said, David's been on there. I've been on there. He has some amazing guests. Go listen and let him know if you loved him and want him back on for a big time episode.
Thank you very much, guys.
It's Tommy.
Well, have a good night. Take care. And oh, am I alone in this? Okay. Well,
Stay
everybody else,
alive.
I don't want you dead, but stay alive, please.